Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our discovery journey, coming across one new expression a day. And yes, today we're talking about 上下其手. That got ancient 2,000 years of meaning as committing a fraud, cheating on something, because it's like using finger pointing to signal the underlying nonverbal message, versus in contemporary the last 3 years, because the entertainment industry have been using this phrase to mean groping, and that new meaning of 上下其手become the dominant meaning in recent years, and people forgot about the original ones. Okay, so today we have 手 in 棋逢对手. It's another expression that I like a lot, and it preserves the original meaning because it's a very specific meaning that is hard to replace it with a new context, right? It's just talking exactly about when you're playing a game, especially board games, that it's two-player game. So you are against someone, and then you meet your same level of opponent. And that's the best situation to train yourself up, by playing with somebody at similar level. So that's what we mean by 棋逢对手. Okay, let's go to 棋. So 棋, Chinese, when we heard 棋, most likely is 象棋. It's a type of kind of Chinese, it's a Chinese chess that would make a big sound on the wood block. So all the moves or all the pawns, pieces are kind of a flat disc in wood, and knocking on the wood board with a dramatic swing and make a loud sound. When you take out the pieces of your opponent, it's like a slam on it. I guess that's, that ferociousness that goes with the board playing. That's part of the aesthetics of playing against an opponent, that kind of take over the board. Okay, so the board game came from this symbol, and you can see contemporary Chinese have this wood symbol or tree symbol removed from the bottom of it to the side. And I would argue, that make writing more easy and make the spatial sense a little bit more relaxed by placing left and right instead of squeeze this tree underneath the table. So here's how I view it. This is sort of a container, and this is a table stand, and this tree symbol with the top upward curve, downward pointing curve, connected with vertical line, the tree symbol, that may mean the material of this thing that's working. And it also looks, just visually from here, it looks almost like a table with a chair here. Well, doesn't have the surface of a chair to sit on, but and almost like position wise, it's like a chair, table, and some container. So it's almost like a setup to play the game, that you have a table and you can sit there for a long time, and you can sync your moves and have the pieces that you can put in a container, something like that, almost like a board game setup to me. And that's the the things that goes with gameplay that made up this game word. So I guess across cultures, people love board games. People like to play. Okay, so 逢, we have the walking sign, and the right side means kind of encounter. Okay, the walking sign came from the foot symbol, which have kind of cactus looking 3 toes pointing upward, kind of like that. And then this arch thing is in my view, is kind of stylized because it's not really a foot arch that looks like that, right? It's kind of dramatic, but that's the main part of the foot. And then these are the 3 toes, just like hands. We don't normally draw out all 5 fingers. Like here, we are talking about hands, so all 5 fingers are there. But here, we're talking about hand. That's simplified, so it's only 3 fingers kind of represented. So here, the toes, only 3 toes are represented in a symbol. So that's our foot. And then the 3 reoccurring strokes going diagonally this way is symbol for footsteps. So originally it has a pair, so left foot and right foot. They leave tracks like that. That's just a very visual depiction of the recurring footsteps. Now we only use half of it. The other half is implied because you cannot like hop all the way, right? You have to walk, so it's 2 sides. But one side is enough to show it's moving. You have steps at different space, right? At certain intervals, and you're kind of moving. You leave your track. So that definitely the foot symbol without the 3 strokes means standing still. With the strokes means it's actually moving, it's walking. The foot is being used. Okay, the right side, we have a backward walking that have, in my view, it looks like, okay, this is one leg, and this is the longer leg. And of course, that's kind of stylized, kind of elongated to cover, to be integrated with another character at the bottom here. So they kind of exaggerated. But the structure of that shows still like this. One side, this longer one leg is the leg that's sticking behind you. So when you're walking backward, this symbol is backward walking. When you're walking backward, it has to be you're sticking out the whole leg, the full length of the leg going, because you don't have the knee bending backward so that you can only move like the calf segment. You have to stick out the whole leg, and the rotation comes from your hip, right? So you can picture the longer leg sticking out. So that's the backward walking. And then the middle here, it looks almost like the cow symbol, and with the horns and the body. So we know the cow symbol is without the bottom horizontal line. It has only one horizontal line. So the cow symbol basically is horizontal line, vertical line. So that's kind of give you a 2-dimensional space sense. And then the main feature of the cow, which is the horns, right? And then we use that as a cow. And here is one extra line. So I guess language creators use that to kind of signify the body portion, which is kind of the leg part. So it's like the cow of the leg is being emphasized here. And we have a backward walking. According to the later meaning, we kind of infer what's the original. So the later meaning of that, right side without walking sign here, it means encounter, almost like a clash or something. So I would imagine this is a person trying to pull the farm animal cow into a certain direction, and a cow resists. The cow doesn't want to. I mean, the cow is a beast, right? It doesn't, even if it's domesticated, it doesn't really follow your order as well as a dog, right? Dogs, you have to train it to follow your order, but the cows probably is less trainable. So a lot of times the humans try to maneuver the cows. They have to walk backwards to pull the cows to a direction that human wants. But this is confrontational. And this confrontational, when paired with walking, that means encounter. It means you're not setting out to go somewhere together next, like side by side. You're actually meet in a path that you happen to walk in the same lane, but could be opposing direction. So you're walking this way, somebody else walking this way, and you meet in the middle. And that's what we call feng. So it's kind of a confrontational in direction-wise, and it's regard walking. So basically, it means encounter. It's unexpected. It's not planned. You meet somebody. So there is randomness in there. And the 对手, we have 对手, that basically means opponent. But Chinese, we separate it into opposite hands. I mean, in a way, it's true, right? It's not. It doesn't mean your opposite hand of both hands are yours. So one opposite, the other hand. It means somebody else's hand that's opposing you. So in a game playing, it's your opponent. And this opposing comes from actually conversation, because we have a mouse symbol over there and something complicated structure, right, stacking up of there. According to scholars, that shows kind of a rampant growing grass or something. It's uncontained. It's a multitude. It's a lot of them. So I guess that grow on top of a mouse symbol, almost like you're kind of spitting out in rapid fire something. Yeah, you're puffing a lot out here. And then the right side is the 3-finger hand symbol with a pointer over there. So whenever you see that, that means 1 inch. And this 1 inch symbol, well, came from this pulse reading that you have to touch 1 inch down from the wrist to feel the pulse. That's ancient diagnostic practice. And this inch then becomes the symbol for rule. Like you have to hit it right at the right measurement. So this right measurement paired with speaking with a lot of words coming out, that actually is a reminder for people to use their words appropriately. You don't overspeak or underspeak. You just speak at the right amount, as if it's 1 inch below the wrist. Very measured speaking. And so this measured speaking, originally used as in conversation. So somebody says something, you have measured speaking in response to that. That's the requirement or the reminder for the language user. By creating this word, that means that's how you hold a conversation. It's a measured conversation. You have a lot in you and you don't just spitting out. You have to be reminded of this 1 inch down rule. So measure your words. Okay, so that eventually becomes like a conversational opponent. So you throw something, somebody can catch the ball, right? So that's the opponent. And okay, 棋逢对手, together it means your opponent that match up exact to your level. So here I'm showing this Queen's Gambit scene that, you know, for each player, they are most happy when they meet somebody who can understand them, but who are having their own interests, right? Everybody wants to win, but they're kind of on a similar plane of level. And that's the most joyous moment for a player, because that's the sense of 棋逢对手. You're meeting your match. You're meeting your exact opponent. And here's a little bit extra. When I was learning, I took a machine learning class a few years ago, and there's one training mechanism or algorithm. It's called a generative adversary network. So basically, it's just like this, describing here, archrivalry, that you come up with something generative, right? You come up with something, and then there is a judge or critique to tell it's good enough or not good enough. So there's a gatekeeper or somebody who is giving you positive or negative feedback. So only by training with opponent with a negative voice or somebody who is good enough to judge your work, then you can improve. So that's the whole concept of adversary. The benefit of adversary, you have this opponent that's strong, and you want to train yourself up to that strong opponent. And as we grow, as we upgrade, eventually we outperform our adversary, right? And so then you will need a new adversary to keep matching. So that's the way to grow. That's the path to grow. And that's the meaning of 棋逢对手 is to find your match. I guess in this sense, it's a chess opponent that's ideal to your capacity, and then you are going to have a good game that's enjoyable for both of you. Okay, catching into the currency of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.